Do you have any clarity on to what degree, if at all, they tried to jump in on the Drew Holiday situation?
I think they explored it. I don't think they explored it with a ton of enthusiasm. Actually, enthusiasm is not the right word. It wasn't like a
Vigor?
pursuit. Yeah,
Yeah.
vigor. That's a better
Yes.
word. There we go.
Yes.
You should be a writer.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think it was. I think it was more kind of. There's a big name on the market. We have a lot of draft picks. We're a good team, and he's a good player. So let's check it out. And I don't think it was much deeper than that. And based on the return that Portland got for Holiday, with Rob Williams, who's a really good young player, and Brogdon coming off 6 man of the year, as well as picks. Like I don't think the Knicks were going to do that. If you look at the salary structure as well, like the only way that the Knicks were going to be able to make a Drew Holiday trade work financially was including either RJ Barrett or Mitchell Robinson. The way that they value, Tibbs specifically values rim protectors, it wasn't going to be Mitchell Robinson. He needs that in the middle of his defense in order to make it work. And RJ has doubters in the organization and he has believers in the organization. But I first of all, I don't think Portland would love RJ as a return, even if they like him in general, because I don't think he's the greatest mix with Scoot, who is really a penetrating guard, and RJ is a penetrating wing, and they want to put shooters around Scoot. And now all of a sudden you're talking about RJ plus 748 for money and a couple of first round picks probably. And that's a lot. And also now you're eating into what you mentioned. They've been patient, like what they've been patient for. They are waiting on a huge best player on a title team player to become available and to want to go to New York. And they're waiting on that guy, and they want to have the assets. They have all of
I
their
mean,
own
is that a
first
one
round
man list?
picks.
That's a one man list, right? At this
I
point,
don't think it's a one man list. I think there
two. I
is
mean, I
one
guess
man.
I'm overreacting to the Lillard trade,
Yeah,
but
I think there is one man who is very much at the front of the list, and his name is Joel Embiid. And obviously Liam Rose used to be his agent. I think I think Giannis is on the list. I also think that people are more pessimistic about, not just with the Knicks, but around the league. People are a lot more pessimistic about Giannis's availability opening up after the Lillard trade. Uh, I also think there's like a third person on the list who doesn't have a face and is just chalked up to, this is the NBA. Shit goes down real fast.
right.
Like, this is the NBA. Someone who we might never think is actually going to be available is going to become available really soon. I don't think James Harden's on that list. I don't think there was really pursuit of James Harden at all. It's they want somebody though who is like a best player on a title team, and that's who they're saving all this stuff for. They've got good young players, but they don't have like a future super duper star on the roster. They have all their own picks, which have value. They've got 4 protected picks from other teams. None of them are great because they're all protected to various degrees. I They're just waiting, and there's not much turnover. I mean, that's why I say they're betting on themselves, because they're not just betting on their ability to eventually be able to churn out some trade for a superstar. They're also betting on the abilities of the guys there. They have 8 of their 9 rotation guys from last year back. They traded Obi Toppin to the Indiana Pacers. They signed Dante DiVincenzo. They're going to be much smaller, at least physically. I don't know if they're going to play smaller in terms of style, but Dante DiVincenzo is a smaller person than Obi Toppin, although I'm willing to hear an argument that he plays more physically and is a better rebounder than Obi Toppin. So I am really curious to see whether that continuity actually carries over. And it looks like, man, these guys know how to play together. They had a really good season last year. Won
They
47
did.
games, won a playoff series, fought Miami hard. But they're young, and they're betting on those young guys to get better. They're betting on a better season from Emmanuel Quickly, another leap from Quentin Grimes.